Y'all have to watch this. It's like this woman predicted how it was gonna be if Donald Trump was elected into office, and oh my gosh, it's like, why didn't she run for president? Y'all have to look at this. Look at this.
Is that one of his highest priorities is to set free the violent extremists who insulted those law enforcement officers on January 6th. Donald Trump intends to use the United States military against American citizens who simply disagree with him. People, simple truth, it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. It is time to stop pointing fingers. We have to stop pointing fingers and start locking arms. It is time to turn the page on the drama and the conflict, the fear and division. It is time for a new generation of leadership in America.
Literally go to YouTube and literally, like, I think her last speech, I think she like warned us. So yeah, go look into that and tell me what y'all think.
Locking arms, she said. Turning the page, she said, and America looked at the option of unity and chose the opposite. She stood there offering a path forward that didn't involve fear or finger-pointing. The tragedy isn't that she lost, the tragedy is that she was offering something better, something calmer, something more grounded. And enough people said no, thanks, we prefer the fire. You don't get to complain about the heat when you chose to walk into the flames.
Include the fact that Donald Trump's plans for the economy would accelerate inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year.
Increase inflation, and by the middle of next year would invite a recession. Increase inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year.
A recession by the middle of next year.
To a recession by the middle of next year. Recession by the middle of next year. Recession by the middle of next year. A recession by the middle of next year. A recession by the middle of next year.
She tried to tell you, but most ain't want to hear it or too ignorant to listen, so here we are.
Accelerate inflation, invite a recession by the middle of next year. That wasn't hidden in some footnote that was said on live television with economists backing every word, and here we are. Prices up, wages stagnant, families struggling harder than they were 12 months ago. The data was there, the projections were there, the warnings were screaming at people, but feelings beat facts in that election, and now the math is collecting its debt. Tell me your grocery bill is lower. Go ahead, I'll wait.
For everyone who didn't believe Kamala when she said if you give him power back, he's going to turn into a dictator. For everyone who didn't listen to Kamala when she said look at his policies, they're going to make prices go up. Now you can take his word for it. Over the weekend, first he said on Friday, I couldn't care less if they raise prices. I couldn't care less. I hope they raise their prices. No, I couldn't care less. Talking about the effects of his tariffs and the inflation they'll bring. And then today, Sunday, Trump won't rule out seeking a third term in the White House. He tells NBC News there are methods for doing so. When asked to clarify, no, I'm not joking. Great.
So I have a question for you guys. With everything going on, with the government shutdown, with Trump, with everything, isn't it almost like everything Kamala said would happen has happened? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Let me know.
Maga is so funny because they're so mad about Trump saying that he can't lower grocery prices, and all they're saying, instead of being upset that he lied to them, do you know what they're saying? There's a common theme in this comment section of this video I was watching, and it's literally Kamala hates God. Like, hold on. We're saying that Trump just lied to you, and all you gotta say is Kamala hates God. Here's another. Kamala decided it would be best to spend taxpayers' money on illegal immigration instead of helping the American citizens get food on their table. Again, this isn't even about Kamala. We're talking about Trump lying to you. Oh, but what was Kamala about to do for us? Clearly you didn't pay attention. Because at least she had plans, not just concepts. And they are still saying the same shit. And what did Kamala do in her 4 years in office? Bailey, please stay in school. Stay in school, please. They literally cannot even question their leader. They can't even admit that he lied. They can't even admit that they have been bamboozled. Like,
Yeah. He's talking about that he considers anyone who doesn't support him or who will not bend to his will an enemy of our country. It's a serious issue. He is saying that he would use the military to go after them. Think about this.
Take place later today near City Hall. This follows President Trump's deployment of 2,000 National Guard members in response to a series of immigration protests across the city.
National Guard deployed against protesters in American cities. She warned that he would use the military against people who simply disagree with him, and people rolled their eyes and called her dramatic. Now 2,000 troops are mobilized not against a foreign threat, but against American citizens. This was supposed to be the impossible scenario, the one that could never happen here. Impossible just became the evening news, and the people who said it couldn't happen are real quiet right now.
And Donald Trump intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. He intends to give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations. He intends to gut our investments in clean energy jobs. He intends to end the Affordable Care Act, to take us back to a time when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. You guys remember what that was?
This goes out to the MAGAs who are complaining about Eminem endorsing Kamala Harris. Guys, just listen to his music. Listen to the lyrics. He's talked about his political views in his earlier music as well as his newer music. He literally did a 4-minute freestyle against Trump. So, like, when y'all are saying, like, oh, my favorite rapper didn't endorse my guy. Well, first, check yourself. Was he your favorite rapper? Because, you know, if he was your favorite rapper, you would probably know his music and know what he's rapping about, right?
This is actually kind of funny in the saddest way possible. People were genuinely shocked that their favorite artists didn't share their politics. Like, did you ever once actually listen to the lyrics? Eminem has been politically vocal for over 20 years, and Green Day literally wrote American Idiot. This is what happens when you consume culture without understanding it. You take the beats and ignore the message, then act betrayed when the artist says what they've always been saying. Maybe if all your favorite artists disagree with you, that's worth sitting with for a minute.
And if you knew what he's rapping about and actually knew the lyrics, you would know that he wouldn't support Trump. This is kind of giving when all the MAGAs were complaining about Green Day singing, "I'm not a part of a MAGA agenda." Guys, what did you think the redneck agenda was? So, yeah, maybe this is your sign that all of your so-called favorite celebrities are not endorsing your guy. It's probably because your guy is a bad person.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
We have some major news. Former Vice President Kamala Harris just came out and slammed Donald Trump and his big ugly bill that just passed the Senate. In a new post on social media, Kamala Harris said, thanks to Senate Republicans, 17 million people will lose their health care. Thanks to Senate Republicans, rural hospitals will close. Thanks to Senate Republicans, 3 million Americans, including veterans and seniors, will lose food assistance. Thanks to Senate Republicans, families will see their energy bills go up by $400 a year. Senate Republicans are doing all of this and more, hurting working people across our nation in order to pay for $1 trillion in tax cuts for billionaires.
17 million people losing healthcare, rural hospitals shutting down, veterans losing food assistance, energy bills jumping $400 a year, and for what? $1 trillion in tax breaks for people who already have more money than they could spend in 10 lifetimes. That's not a policy disagreement, that's a value statement. It tells you exactly who this government is working for, and it is not working families. These numbers aren't coming from partisan sources either. These are nonpartisan evaluations. The math doesn't care about your political affiliation, it just tells the truth.
There's still time to stop this bill before it passes in the House. Call your representative and tell them to vote no, she says. Thank you to Kamala Harris for speaking out against this, because what Trump and the Republicans are trying to do is disastrous. All of these things are true, and all of these projections are not coming from Democrats. They're coming from nonpartisan sources whose job is to evaluate bills like this. This bill will hurt tens of millions of Americans. It is remarkable just how disastrous it's going to be. Former Vice President Kamala Harris just responded to all of the protests we saw against the Trump administration across the United States today, and her response is pretty great. She said on Twitter, quote, "Today in every state across our nation, Americans are standing up to the administration as they implement Project 2025 at full speed. Thank you for using your voices and the power of protest to stand for Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, for the Department of Education and programs like Head Start, for clean air and water, for the right to make decisions about your own body without government interference. The voices of working people will always be louder than the unelected billionaires, and I couldn't agree more." The Trump administration should be absolutely terrified after what we saw today. Tens of thousands of average hardworking Americans in all of these major cities getting out there, making their voices heard, protesting against this administration.
Tens of thousands of people in every major city standing up and saying enough. And this wasn't just Democrats out there. This was independents. This was Republicans. This was everyday Americans who are fed up watching their programs get gutted. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, education, clean air, clean water. These aren't partisan issues. These are American issues. When you start taking away things that people on both sides depend on, don't act surprised when both sides show up at your doorstep.
This crowd was not just Democrats. It was a mix of Democrats, independents, and even some Republicans out there fed up with what we're seeing from Trump. Democrats will fight for all of these programs. The Trump administration will fight to tear them down. And that's the difference. And I'm glad that Kamala Harris is calling that out still.
On day one, Donald Trump will walk into that office with an enemies list.
It was almost like Kamala Harris was psychic or something. She was right about everything.
I was told that if I voted for Kamala Harris in 2024, terrible things would happen. Grocery prices would go through the roof. Nobody'd be able to fucking afford anything. And we'd be at war within a year. And it looks like they were right. I voted for Kamala Harris in 2024. 77 million of you window-licking, bigoted pieces of shit. We're not smart enough to do the same. And now, grocery prices are through the roof. Nobody can fucking afford anything. And we all just watched a demented septuagenarian do his best Lord Farquaad impression, talking about, "Some of you may die," as he drags us into a war that is, by his own admission, without congressional approval. So I ask you this today, MAGA. How you fucking feeling? I hope all you MAGA chuds that never shut the fuck up about he's the president of peace and we can't have a woman president, she might start a war on her time of the month, are ready to go die in the Middle East for a president who started a war so we'd all forget that he's best friends with a bunch of fucking pedophiles.
This energy right here is what happens when frustration hits a breaking point. 77 million people were handed the answers to the test and still failed. They were told exactly what would happen. Inflation uprights, stripped conflicts started without approval. And every excuse they made about why they voted the way they did is crumbling in real time. The people who screamed about peace are watching wars start. The people who screamed about the economy can't afford groceries. At some point, you have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, did I get played?
Excellent work, dumb fuck. I'll leave you with a quote from the president that you love to support. Our president will start a war with Iran because he's completely unable to negotiate. He's weak and ineffective. I'd tell you to think on that, but you have clearly been spared the burdens of intelligence. So instead, I'm going to tell you to get fucked.
I will show you one example of Donald Trump's worldview and intentions. Please roll the clip.
The worst people are the enemies from within. The enemy from within. Those people are more dangerous, the enemy from within, than Russia and China. These people should be put in jail the way they talk about our judges and our justices. Now, if you had one really violent day, one rough hour, and I mean real rough. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
So you heard his words. You heard his words coming from him. He's talking about the enemy within Pennsylvania. He's talking about the enemy within our country, Pennsylvania. He's talking about that he considers anyone who doesn't support him or who will not bend to his will an enemy of our country.
We have some news right now. Vice President Kamala Harris is coming out blasting the Trump administration over its explanation or lack thereof of the ICE shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota today. In a new statement released just minutes ago, Vice President Harris writes, quote, "Today in Minneapolis, ICE agents shot and killed a woman in a shocking incident. Governor Walz has announced the state will ensure a fair investigation, and I am grateful for his swift action. Many of us have seen the horrifying and painful video, which makes it clear that the Trump administration's explanation of this shooting is, quote, pure gaslighting. A full and fair investigation at the state level is absolutely necessary."
And instead of demanding answers, instead of launching a real investigation, the administration called it justified. Kamala Harris called it what it was: pure gaslighting. When the government tells you not to believe your own eyes, that is the moment you should be paying the most attention. A full investigation hasn't even happened yet, and they've already decided the outcome. That's not law and order, that's a cover-up in broad daylight.
This contradicts what Donald Trump has been saying. He has been defending this ICE agent, saying that essentially it was self-defense and it was justified. But the truth is, no investigation has happened yet. An investigation is necessary. I will continue to provide you updates as we get more information, so spread the word and follow along to stay up to date on all the news that you need to know about. I will have another update for you soon.
Who do we vote for?
Trump.
Why do we vote for Trump?
I feel like the hat says it all.
Who are you voting for?
Trump.
Why are we voting for Trump?
The border and economy.
Who are we voting for?
Donald Trump. I already voted, actually.
Why did we vote for Trump?
Because my mommy told me to.
Wow.
And I'm Christian.
Who do we vote for?
Donald Trump.
Why do we vote for Trump?
Because Kamala's dumb.
Vote for.
The only right candidate, Donald Trump.
And why do we vote for Trump?
Because I want to live a good life.
Vote for.
Trump.
Why did you vote for Trump?
Because I want to afford housing and I want to live a good life.
Who'd you vote for?
Trump.
Why Trump?
I mean, I'm a Christian, so I'm big on anti-abortion.
Yeah. What about y'all?
Same with what she said. Yeah.
More right than what Kamala has to offer right now.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Trump.
Why did we vote for Trump?
Because he's proven that he can already run this country effectively.
Yeah, who did we vote for?
Donald Trump. Trump.
Why did we vote for Trump?
Because he's a believer of Jesus Christ. Because I love America.
Who did y'all vote for?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump?
Trump.
Why did we vote for Trump?
He's the best, of course. I actually want to own a home one day.
Stop playing. She cannot be our president. Sad.
Madam Vice President, can you tell us why your administration didn't release the Epstein files? Can you tell us? 4 years, but you guys didn't do it. What's your take on it?
You know, before the 2024 presidential election, I talked to so many Trump supporters, so many, who told me they didn't want to support Kamala Harris for president because she's a woman. They thought she was too emotional, that she couldn't handle major challenges that faced the United States, that she wouldn't be able to handle the pressures of the presidency. And now today, we have two narcissistic, egotistical billionaires who've been running the country for the past 6 months, beefing with each other online, having a breakup in front of the entire country, and quite frankly, the entire world.
Too emotional, they said. Couldn't handle the pressure, they said. And now we're watching two billionaires have a public meltdown on social media like teenagers after prom, going back and forth, throwing tantrums, attacking each other while the country burns behind them. So let me ask you, Maga, who's emotional now? Who's cracking under pressure? Who's letting their ego override their responsibility? Because the woman they rejected hasn't lost her composure once through any of this. That tells you everything you need to know about who is actually ready to lead.
Emotionally attacking each other. So MAGA, you tell me who's too emotional to lead. Kamala Harris, the experienced prosecutor who has served for decades in positions of power, or Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who when they get slightly offended, decide to go nuclear and just throw everything out the window. You tell me. Please, get back to me ASAP. I'm looking forward to it. Mwah.
Trust me, guys, I did all my research on Kamala Harris, and it just wouldn't be good. Think about
4 years of that laugh, maybe even 8 years. I mean, that would just be bad for the economy. That'd be bad for the government. Countries don't respect us. Think about how bad things would be. Thank God she's not the president. She'd just be way too emotional, making emotional decisions. We don't need that right now. We need a strong leader, someone that's going to make the other countries bow down in fear, people that's going to make other countries respect us. We need a leader like Donald Trump. Think about the economy was better under Trump. People keep making this excuse that the COVID-19, I mean, that's not a good excuse for the economy doing bad. Just own up, man, own up. The economy was terrible under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I did all my research on Kamala. I know all about Kamala Harris. I just don't like the policies of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Could you imagine how bad this country would be? You never heard me complain about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris when they were in office. People keep saying Trump is terrible. Well, look at Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I never called them terrible people. No one ever called them terrible people when they were in office. I need that same respect. Think about how abortions were higher. Abortions were a little bit higher under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Do you want to kill babies? Is that what you want to do? Kill babies? Sure, we were doing the same thing, but numbers were higher under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. The economy, like I said, thank God we don't have Kamala Harris. Just too emotional. Should be making too emotional decisions. The policies are bad. What else? Yeah. We don't need Kamala Harris. We need a strong leader like Donald Trump. That's what we need. People ask me if I regret my vote. No, I do not regret my vote at all. In fact, I would vote for him twice as hard. I would vote for him a third term, maybe even a fourth term if I could.
Imagine being so fucking terrified and scared of Black women that you voted for the clown car that's happening right now. Imagine feeling so fucking inferior to intelligent Black women that you voted for a convicted felon. You voted for a reality TV host, a failed businessman, a bankrupted fucking asshole that is destroying our government, burning our constitution, and honestly ruining our fucking lives. You didn't care about Medicaid. You didn't care about Medicare. You don't care about veterans. You don't care about children going hungry. You wanted to feel so fucking superior because the color of our skin, we are fading into oblivion because the world is a fucking melting pot. You are so terrified of Blackness that you voted for a failed reality television host that couldn't even operate a casino.
She told us, and we watched it all unfold exactly how she said it would. The only question left is what happens next. Drop your answer in the comments and tell me, are people finally starting to wake up? Like, share, subscribe. Mind Mirror doesn't look away.